All right, hey everybody, Joe and Gavin, we are back for part 2 of making offers. And in this video, we're going to be giving you an example deal and walking through our calculator on how to quickly and easily and effortlessly make offers. It's super easy. Don't complicate it. Don't be overwhelmed by it. You can use all this information that's free on the internet. You can make offers really quickly and easily. And remember, to get this mind map, text the word flip to 313131 or go to flipmindmap.com and we'll get this mind map over to you right away. So we're talking about making offers. On the last video, we talked about how to quickly pre-screen sellers, how to quickly estimate the after repair value and the repairs, simple formulas for making cash offers. And we're also going to give you in just a minute here the actual contract that you can use. But back to this spreadsheet and this offer calculator that you have. Remember, if you get this calculator, you can get it from our mind map right here under the calculator. All right. This calculator, you won't have edit permissions for this calculator. So you'll need to go into Google Sheets and either make a copy of it to your own Drive account or download it as an Excel spreadsheet. That's the only way you can get this. So please, don't send me an email requesting permission to edit this doc. I get about 3 to 5 of those a day from people when I do these kinds of videos, giving away stuff in Google Sheets or Google Drive. I can't share access with it. You have to. This is protected, so I can't let the world get in there and edit it and mess it all up. You have to make a copy of it or download it for yourself. All right. So let's look at an example deal. Gavin, should we do that?
Yes.
All right. We pulled up. We've been kind of through this video series looking at Birmingham, and so I went to Birmingham, Alabama, and looked up rental properties. And one of the things I like to do is send letters to rentals on Zillow and Go Section 8 and Craigslist, because guess what? They're vacant, right? And if you look at the pictures of this house, sure enough, they're vacant. There's nothing inside of it. So we talked to the seller. And he calls us and says, yeah, I'm interested in selling it, but he's not maybe that motivated. So we're not going to make an appointment to go see the house, but we're going to send him an offer anyway. We're going to send it by email. We're going to send it by snail mail, and we're going to follow up with him. So let's just calculate an offer really quickly for this house. Now, he's advertising it for rent for $650. It may be hard to see on the screen right now, but Zestimate, the rent Zestimate is $650. So all I'm going to do here, and by the way, I talked to him. He says, I might consider selling it for $55,000. Maybe that's what he says. So I'm going to look at Zillow. And Zillow doesn't give me the square footage, but sometimes when you go to other sites, like I like to go to RealQuest Express, they'll tell me it's $12.99. Okay, so I'm going to put $12.99 in here. And the seller on the phone says it doesn't need any repairs. I can actually look on Zillow, and it does look pretty clean. I only see a picture of the living room, though. I don't see the kitchen, so it looks nice on the outside. I'm still going to put $5 a square foot in there just to be safe. So that gives me maybe $6,500 for repairs. The gross monthly rents are $650. So I'm going to change this to $650. I'm figuring 40% for expenses, and that's vacancies, maintenance, management, repairs, insurance, taxes, all that stuff that landlords should be budgeting, about 40%. And I know my investors, they want 13% on their money. But you know what? It used to be investors wanted 13 to 15%. Now that the market's gotten tougher and more landlords are still wanting to buy homes, they're sometimes happy with 10 to 12%. I know a wholesaler, one of our clients right now, he's wholesaling deals hand over fist to landlords that are happy with 10%. So look at what the difference between 10% and 13%. On this house, if we're going to offer 13% cash on cash return on investment to our landlord, that means we have to buy it for $21,500. But if we do 10%, I can offer $32,300. So that's almost a $10,000 difference between 10 to 13% ROI. So let's just say, we have an investor that we know wants 12%. And so the net annual cash flow on this deal is going to be $4,260. Wholesale fee, we want to make $7,500 on this. Approximate closing cost, maybe $500, I don't know. So we're going to offer the seller $24,505. And then we're going to sell it to our investor for $32,005. Now, if we sell this property for $32,005, after the landlord puts in the money for repairs, figures in expenses for all of that stuff we talked about, they're going to make 12% on their money. It's as simple as that. That's how we make offers on rental properties.
Yeah.
Now, you noticed... Go ahead, Gavin.
I was going to say that took 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I talked about it through a lot.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't care what the Zillow's estimate value is. I don't care what iComps or RealQuest or ePraisal or Redfin or Realtor.com. I don't care what they say the ARV is, okay?
Yeah.
I'm basing my offers, because this is a lower-end rental, I'm basing my offers on the cash-on-cash return, or the ROI. Make sense?
Absolutely.
All right. Now, let's look at another house that is a nicer home. Okay, I'm going to move my tabs over here. What I did is I went to Redfin, Birmingham. We talked about this before. I looked for nice homes that have been on the market for over 2 months, over 60 days, that look like they need repairs. And you can go through these homes, and there's a bunch of them, and start looking for ones that need repairs. And I found one here. It's on Corey Street. And if I flick through the pictures, let me open it up here. I'll show you some pictures. It looks pretty on the outside, kind of cluttered. But if you go inside, you can see that, by the way, I like houses that have a lot of exterior pictures, because a lot of times it means, and don't have very many interior pictures, because a lot of times it means there's not any good interior pictures to make. This one has a lot of stuff inside. This tells me this might be a probate or an estate sale. It needs some updating. You can see the walls are a little pink, maybe, the popcorn ceilings. Kitchen's okay. Kitchen's actually pretty nice, but I don't know. There's another picture here of the kitchen with blue Formica countertops. And there's, yes, I'm not sure. There's different pictures of different kitchens. But anyway, here's wood paneling in one of the bedrooms. Okay. And in the living room, wood paneling, older carpet. Yeah, so this needs some work. Not a ton. It's not a full gut rehab. You know, maybe if you just painted the walls in here, that would make a world of difference. I don't know. So we talked to the realtor. We send an email to the realtor. Say, yeah, you know, they might consider something. Or we send something saying, you know, is their price flexible? They may say, yeah, it's flexible. Send an offer. So we're going to go through this spreadsheet here. And this is a rehab property because it's a little more expensive than a rental. And we're going to go ahead and figure the ARV real quick. And so what I like to do is I'll just take this address, and I want to start getting the different values. And so I'll go into Zillow, and I will paste that address in Zillow. Did that work? Okay. And it gives me the Zestimate of 108,620. 108,620. I'm going to put that number in there. Go to ePraisal, and let's look at ePraisal here. Going to copy and paste the address into ePraisal. ePraisal says it's 160,304. Big difference, right? 160,304, 160,304. And let's go to iComps. iComps, I don't know who owns iComps, but it's a pretty good service. I think John Cochran does, who owns Buyers on Fire. All right, let me try this address again here. Sometimes you have to type in the address a little bit. And here we go. Their estimated value is 105,361. So I'm going to go 105,361. Let's look at Redfin. Redfin gives an estimate of 104,112. And that's probably enough right there, right? But let's just, for the sake of demonstration, let's go to RealQuest Express. And I have a premium account with them. Even if you don't have a premium account, you can still, they'll give you an estimate of their estimate for value, even if you don't have it. All right, so they're telling me 140. Wow, quite a range, right? But you know what? I'm not gonna freak out about it. I'm not gonna hyperventilate and say, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" All right.
Yeah.
So this spreadsheet I have here gives me the average. I hope you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom in as best I can here. It gives me the average, it gives me the median, and it gives me the low. I mean, so if you wanted to, you could do the average of the average and the median and the low. What if you did that, okay? That gives me 110. Fine, let's go with 110. Okay, doesn't matter. And what I like to do then is I'm going to put this number right here. 110 is the ARV. And I know in Birmingham, I need to probably be at 70% of ARV. Square footage on this property is 2371. 2371. What would you say? Does it need cosmetics? I think it needs cosmetics. Paint, carpet, maybe a few vanities or something in the bathroom. So let's just do $10 a square foot. That gives my total estimated repairs of $23,700. I want to make at least $7,500 on the deal. Look at that. It gives me an offer price of $45,800. That's pretty low, right? The seller's going to have to be motivated probably to sell this thing that low because they're asking right now $102,900. But here, listen to this, guys. Just on a coaching call the other day, Gavin and I were talking to our clients. One of the things we like to do on our coaching calls with clients is evaluate deals, like real deals. Or sometimes we'll do, I really enjoy this, we do like competitions. And I throw up a property on the call and I say, all right, everybody, get your calculator out and let's find out who can come up with the ARVs and repairs and offers as the quickest and fastest, you know. And we'll see, you know, how people compare and what numbers come in at. And so on the example that I was doing, we looked up a house, I forget where it was, and they were asking $109,000 for it. And I did the numbers here, and I knew it needed a lot of work. And they were asking for more than the current repair value, the after repair value, like fixed up. And it had been on the market for over 60 days. I emailed the realtor and I said, I don't know, this may offend you and your client, and if it does, that's fine, just delete this email. But would they consider something in the, I forget what the exact number was, it was like $60,000 to $65,000. They were asking $109,000. And I was sent an email saying between $60,000 and $65,000, would they accept something in that range? And I was expecting an angry reply, no way. He responded back, yeah, you know what, let me throw that by the owner and see what he says. I've still not heard anything back yet, right? But, you know, what does it hurt? Just to come up with these offers, you're making 3 to 5 of them a day, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to offer $45,000, and we're going to sell it. Oh, this number's not right. I found a mistake. Okay, I found my mistake. Simple error. I'm going to offer $45,000, and then I add my wholesale fee, $7,500, and I'm going to sell it to my investors for $53,000. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
You make the offer, you send it to the seller, and you follow up with them.
Yeah, we just got to. I just want to tell a quick story. Actually, one of our clients that we worked with last week made an offer in exactly this way. The client said that he wasn't going to accept it, but he's made it anyway. The guy gets an inspection done on his own. Next thing, 3 months on, after he's done his own inspection, he's in the owner. All of a sudden, he gets an email with the contract signed in the email. Not spoke to the guy. It just arrives back. And that's the point of making it, because if that happens and you do one of them and it makes you $20,000, $10,000, whatever, was it worth sending? Yep. Of course. Of course it was. Just
send the offer, because they may not realize that this house that is listed for 102, that's worth about 100,000 fixed up, that needs all this updating, it's not going to sell. You know, and exactly. How it may be on there for 6 months, and the family that is trying to sell it is just sick and frustrated of it. You know, they're like, let's just get rid of it. It doesn't even have central air. It looks like there's an air conditioning unit right there in that window. I don't know what's going on at this house, right? So you just need you give them some time to cook. There's different pictures of, I don't know what's going on here at the house. Old pictures and new pictures. But anyway, just send them the offer. So now back to the mind map. What are you going to send them? Well, you're just going to send them a simple cover letter and a simple contract. Your cover letter or your email could just say, hey, you know, we're looking at this house. I know it's on the market for a while now, but we could probably offer something like this. And if we understand that you may not be interested at this price, but, you know, if circumstances change, please call us back. We'd love to talk with you again, okay? So we're giving you a link in the mind map here of our simple one-page wholesaling contract that we use. There's a link to it here, and it's a Word document, so you'll have to download it, okay? But it's a real simple one-page contract, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here and just kind of walk through. In fact, let me just download it right now, and I will open it up in Word and kind of just fill in the numbers right now for you. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to send a cover letter, and then I'm going to attach to the cover letter this contract. This is my offer. So I'm going to put the date. Let's just say 12 September 2019, because we're in the future. I don't want to date this video because somebody's going to watch this thinking, oh, this video is too old. This doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to put buyer. I'm going to say Joe. I almost said Joe Blow. That doesn't sound right. Joe Cool LLC is the buyer. That's me. From the seller, Susie Seller. Okay. And the address, 123 Main Street, whatever that address was in that house we were just looking at, okay? Birmingham, Alabama, whatever the zip is. Okay? The amount was, what did we say here? $45,790. Okay?
Yep.
$45,790. I like to bold them and underline them. Oh, that's earnest money. For earnest money, I normally do $500. Okay. Purchase price. Property. And by the way, we said this in the mind map, but always have an attorney review your contracts. Okay. We're not attorneys. We don't pretend to be attorneys, and always have a local attorney, a local real estate investor friendly attorney review any contracts that we give you. All right. So here's the conditions. Well, we're buying it as is. That doesn't mean we're not doing an inspection. We're still doing an inspection. The seller, or if there's a tenant, will make property accessible to show our partners, lenders, inspectors, appraisers, and contractors prior to closing. If we are unable to complete the purchase for any reason, the earnest money deposit shall be forfeited to the seller as total liquidated damages, and the buyer is released from any further obligation under this contract. If the seller cannot provide clear title or doesn't allow proper inspection of the property, we'll be released from this. And by the way, that earnest money is due upon completion of the inspection period. We just had a client call me this morning and say, hey, the seller took that out. And I said, well, then cancel the contract. I mean, you have to be the one dictating the terms. The price is negotiable, right? It's either price or terms. And so don't let the seller walk over you like this, right? I mean, motivated sellers will make you rich. Unmotivated sellers will make you grow old. So don't let the sellers dictate to you these kinds of terms on the contract. These are here for a reason. You need to keep them here. You don't want to give any earnest money until your inspection period is over, in my opinion. Some people may tell you differently, but so I mean, it's nice to have a coach, isn't it? I think, like, to help you look at this and say, nah, don't let the sellers say. And the same seller took out a bunch of other clauses in this contract, because they didn't like it. But all right, anyway. So if the buyer is unable after the inspection contingency to buy it, the seller gets the earnest money. The buyer will select the closing agent. You want to make sure you select the closing agent. You want to make sure the contract is assignable. It's subject to an inspection and approval by the buyer. I usually do 21 business days after the date of this contract. Okay. And the other thing, it says here the date that this contract is received by the buyer, because I send this contract out, right? Well, this same seller I was just talking about, the student was calling me about, the seller changed that to the date that this contract is signed by the seller. Well, that's ridiculous because the seller signed that 5 days ago, sent it in the email or by mail or whatever, and my student didn't get it till maybe a week later, so already a week had been gone through that. And so, anyway, point is, don't let the sellers change the languages of this. Yeah. Taxes to be prorated. Closing date will be on or before 21 business days from the date signed below. Or you can put a specific date on there if you want. Seller to grant any extension needed to clear title. No other blah, blah, blah. And I like this contingency clause at the bottom. My performance in buying this property is contingent upon my satisfactory inspection of the property. Or you could say it's contingent on a verifying taxes, title, and value. Something simple like that. You don't sign it, just send it to the seller. Because if the seller signs it, it's not valid until you sign it. And that's when the clock starts ticking. Okay, real simple one-page contract. And you may not like it. You may want to use your state. Maybe your attorney has a better one. Maybe you want to use the ones that realtors use. I don't know. But send them something. Send them an offer. It could just even be a letter of intent. You could go Google letter of intent and find something that you could use to send that to the seller instead of a contract. Does that make sense?
Yep. And I think it's a good point that we touched on there. It's control. You got to control this throughout the whole process. From talking to the seller, you're in control. Making the offers and determining the contracts, you're in control. You are the buyer. You know, it's like if I'm selling a car to Joe, I've got to sell him this car why he should buy it. It's exactly the same with a house. They need to sell me. They're going to sell it to me. Why? I can buy 100 houses.
Yep.
So why should I buy yours? And that's where control is key through the whole process.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I couldn't say it better. So just stay in control. If they try to change the terms of the contract and things like that, just say, you know what, this probably isn't going to work for me right now. Sorry. Yeah. And walk away. Don't be afraid to walk away. Don't be tied to the outcome of this, okay? There's tremendous power in negotiating power when you give the seller this contract. If you're at their house, give them the offer. Say, listen, this expires tomorrow at 9 a.m. No big deal. Yeah. I mean, it's okay to tell me no, but you can't say I need to think about it. This offer is good until this time or whatever. Yeah,
that's a big thing that you just picked up on there. Make sure when you go to the house, take the contract with you.
Yeah.
Make the offer at the house. That's huge. People don't take the contract. You got to take the contract to the house if you go in.
I can't believe I forgot that. So, yeah, what I'm going to do right now before I forget is I'm going to attach to the mind map a simple letter of intent that you could use maybe instead of this one-page contract, okay? It's a simple letter of intent. I'll attach it to the mind map right here, and you'll see a link to it. You can get it. And I also gave you some option contracts. I'm not going to spend much time talking about this, but I just thought I would over-deliver on the value. Here are 2 sample option contracts that you can use. If you don't want to use a regular contract, you can use an option contract. And sometimes in some states, it's easier to assign an option contract than it is an actual contract. So an option contract gives you a little more wiggle room. But I'm also going to give you a letter of intent as well in here that you should check out. All right, and if you're going to, remember, if the seller's motivated, make the appointment. And if you're going on an appointment, bring a contract with you. You should have it in your mind, like, I'm not going to leave this house until I get this contract signed. Okay? Action points, checks points right here. Number 1, yes, I understand how to pre-screen sellers. Just ask simple questions. Yes, I will make offers on every property, 5 a day. And yes, I can run simple comps, calculate repairs, and make cash offers in less than 5 minutes each. All right? Now, I know that may overwhelm some of you guys, but it's not that hard. Just make it happen, okay? And if you need some help, you can schedule a strategy session with myself or Gavin. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk about you and your business. See if maybe we can help you, maybe hold you accountable. If you need somebody to help you make your first few offers, or just so you know you're not going to make a mistake, then that's what a coach is for. And so Gavin and I are giving away free strategy sessions right now. We can get on the phone, talk about where you are now, where you want to be, what are your goals, and what are the obstacles holding you in your way. And let's talk about that and give you some help. So I think it's been a long enough video. This is one of our longest yet, Gavin, so we better get off.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Joe.
Next, we're going to be talking about follow-up. Really, really important to follow up with these sellers after you're talking to them and after you make offers. So we will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.